everybody. Cindy Bettino, your host for Sterling Women, and our business coach, Cort, Maddox of Silver Line Coaching. So today we're talking to coaches, and specifically only to coaches, because it's a hard business. So many people want to become life coaches, business coaches. I mean, honestly, Cort, they're like a dime a flippin' dozen. I talk about when people say, so you're a coach, and I'm like, yeah, we're like jelly beans, right? I mean, we come in so many different flavors and colors, and there's so many different people out there trying to market themselves and promote themselves. And it's not that there is a lack of clients. It's not that. I don't think that what makes life coaching and coaching in general difficult is a lack of clients. I think it's just difficult because you're selling. For me, I'll talk about me. It's hard to sell myself, even though I don't think it should be difficult to sell myself, because I think I'm really good at what I do. But so you've been working with me forever, and I know you work with other coaches. So talk to me about the difficulties of a coaching business.
Sure. The biggest challenge comes when coaching, and we're all approached with this. Anytime that, for example, people see my license plate and it says coach, and people are, oh, what, coach at what? And it really is, you have to clearly define your audience, right? Because in general, if you talk about life coaches specifically, everybody has a life. If you're talking to somebody and they're breathing, they have a life. And if it is that broad, then without clearly defining and narrowing the path of the people that you're looking to speak with, then it's, oh, okay, well, that could be for me, but it may not be. And so then it's just, they kind of shut down. And because, like you've said, it's like the jelly bean factor, that they're all over the place. Then people are like, oh, okay, yeah, I can, it's not a big deal. I can find one of you in the yellow pages, and there's 150 of you. But the reality is that it's all about personality. And just as we have our circles of people that we surround ourselves with, the benefit of finding yourself somebody that mixes well in your circle of mentors, that is a coach and is a great coach, is the fact that it gives you the ability to have this very positive influence on your life, to where you're focusing on the things that you should be focused on. And while there may be, and I'm sure that there are, just like with every other industry, people out there that maybe shouldn't be in the profession, when you sit down and talk to somebody, you really should get an idea of how well you think you can work together. And this is why I highly encourage people to have a coach or a mentor of some sort, because we all need that guidance and assistance to get us to the next level. Otherwise, it's real easy. Life throws out a whole lot of negative things at us, and it's real easy to get down in the dumps about it. And so when you have that positive influence, then that can shield you from that and help you put a different perspective on things. And
okay, so what I hear you saying, hold on, what I hear you saying is that coaches need to clearly define and distinguish themselves, right? This is basic economic theory, right? That you have to differentiate yourself from the masses, whether you're Lysol or whether you're a coach. And so, so we want to differentiate, right? We want to, you said personality. So we have to show up authentically, right? Because that's our personality. If we're putting masks on, or we're pretending to be somebody that we're really not, or I don't know if, but personality is, and like you and I have talked about, typically people hire me after they've met me. People don't usually hire me if they haven't met me, because our personalities kind of have to jive. What other tips can you give a coach that's out there? Because honestly, like if somebody says they're a business coach, I kind of roll my eyes. I mean, we meet in networking, we meet so many business coaches, life coaches, mindset coaches, relationship coaches, whatever. So what other tips can you give?
So it clearly defining, but then showcasing your personality, just as you've said, you have to be genuine. And so if you start to try to shield people from the genuine person that you are, then it's going to come across and it's going to be disingenuine. And then therefore people aren't going to want to work with you. And the best way to do that is really kind of putting yourself out there as far as videos and content and write about it, blog about it, do some different things to where people can really see your personality and therefore start to build up trust. It's the same thing with everybody. We're all trying to build up a level of trust, but if you're only doing it just as you've said, when the people that hire you and choose to hire you are the people that have met you. But if we are consistently trying to meet, especially within pandemic times and things along those lines, if we're trying to meet everybody individually, then it's going to take a massive amount of time and it becomes very inefficient. Because it's not that every person that you meet chooses to hire you. It's that every now and then you meet somebody in person that has done some research, has been referred, all kinds of different things. Well, why not put out some additional content in order to allow people to start that level of trust increase before they meet you, and therefore you really increase the level of conversion rate that you have for people to choose to work with you.
So I love that. I love that. And you know, I love doing videos. I love videos, and I love blogging and video blogging. And yes, I think that's important to have on your website. It's important to put on social media. And in that, not only are you showcasing your personality, but you're showcasing specifically what you do. Like when I talk about my business, I teach life and relationship skills, right? I teach skills that we weren't taught by our imperfect parents so that we can find more happiness in our lives. So people, I think, need to get very specific about how they are different. So if you just say, well, I'm a mindset coach, I don't know what the hell that means, except that I've had a picture taken with some Charmin saying that makes me happy. But I think specifics are important too. Like, so if you were going to say something specific about Silverline coaching, what would you say?
Well, I would say that we help the performance of the businesses and individuals that we work with to create an optimal level of response. Now, we can
That's general.
It is very general, but it's again, when you start to really describe it, then it's the time, team, profit. Do you have a challenge with your employees? Are you having a challenge managing your time? And do you want to increase your profits?
Okay.
The answers typically are yes to all three of those, depending on the business. When it comes to the benefit to me as a business coach that a life coach doesn't necessarily have is that when you say business, it means specific to a business owner. So you've at least narrowed the field that way.
It's true.
But with a life coach, and to come back to what you said earlier, as far as them being all over the place, I think that's one of the reasons that life coaches struggle to really market and brand themselves, because they don't want to alienate any particular audience. And so I happened to be at a networking function years ago, and I had done my little 60-second spiel. There was another coach, she was a life coach, at the same table, and she went first. And after I did my spiel, she came in and said, oh, I could do those things too. And it was because I had clearly defined what I was going to be doing, how I was going to be working with people. And then I had questions from the table about working with me. And she realized that, oh, well, I announced myself as a life coach that worked with individuals. And now I feel like I'm losing a piece of the audience potentially. And so I want to be everything to everybody. And we can't do that. We have to clearly define who we're going to be working with and who we're not going to work with.
Yeah.
And
I work with miserable people. No kidding.
I work with people that cry every day, and they say that they are Eeyore, right? But no, you do. You clearly define your audience of, hey, I work with people that need these skills that
Right.
really want to improve. Look, I'm not. It's one of the reasons why I meet with people beforehand. Now it's Zoom, but meeting with people beforehand, because if I don't get the feeling that somebody wants to improve and that they want to embrace a performance type culture, then it doesn't make sense to work together, because then they're going to be disappointed with what they get, and then that's going to be a reflection against me. So we want to clearly define who we want and who we don't want, and be okay with that.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. So, Cort, thank you for your time. We've run over, which is awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll hear more from you in just a little bit, because I love all of your business tips. I think that they are so important to all of our attendees from Sterling Women. So we will see you later, alligator.
See ya.